Why do we fly? For business, for adventure, to connect with loved ones. But what if I told you that every time we take to the skies, we're also contributing to a global challenge, climate change? Today, let's make aviation decarbonization simple. Aviation is responsible for about 2 to 3% of global CO2 emissions, according to the International Air Transport Association, or IATA. That might sound small, but as more people fly, passenger numbers are set to double by 2040. Those emissions could soar even higher. And get this, because planes fly way up high, their emissions can have a surprisingly big impact on our climate. So why is it so hard to decarbonize aviation? First, planes are built to last 20 to 30 years on average. That means any change takes time. Second, batteries are just too heavy for long flights. And third, jets still rely almost entirely on fossil fuels, that is, kerosene. But there's hope. Around the world, organizations and governments are stepping up. Let's start with CORSIA, the Carbon Offsetting and Reduction Scheme for International Aviation. It's a global program led by the International Civil Aviation Organization, or ICAO, that requires airlines to offset any growth in their emissions. In other words, if airlines fly more, they have to balance out the extra carbon. Then there's ReFuelEU, a European Union initiative. By 2025, it requires 2% of all jet fuel in Europe to be sustainable aviation fuel, or SAF. By 2050, that jumps to 70%. The US has its own SAF Grand Challenge, aiming for 3 billion gallons of sustainable fuel by 2030. And the UK's Jet Zero strategy? Net zero aviation by 2050. So, what is sustainable aviation fuel? SAF is a drop-in replacement for regular jet fuel. It can cut carbon emissions by up to 80% compared to fossil fuels, says IATA. But here's the catch. Right now, SAF makes up less than 0.1% of all jet fuel, and it costs 2 to 5 times more. SAF can be made from produce from various feedstocks, including used cooking oil, animal fats, waste from agriculture and forestry, and household plastic trash. It's processed and refined to work in today's planes. No modifications needed. But fuel isn't the only answer. Airlines are also getting smarter about how they fly. By optimizing flight paths and using continuous descent approaches, airlines can save up to 10% on fuel. On the ground, single-engine taxiing and lighter components help cut emissions even further. What about electric and hydrogen planes? Small electric planes are already flying short routes, and by 2035, hydrogen could power medium-range flights. But for long-haul journeys, the kind that connect continents, we'll still need SAF for decades to come. So what's the path forward? Of course, getting there won't be easy. We'll need global collaboration and clear, consistent policies to sort through the complexities of voluntary and mandatory carbon markets, making sure everyone's working towards the same goals. Today, it's about operational improvements and starting to use SAF. By 2030, we'll see more SAF and new aircraft technologies. By 2040, hydrogen planes could take over some routes. And by 2050, the goal is net zero aviation. Aviation connects our world. Decarbonizing it will take innovation, investment, and global cooperation. But with organizations like IATA, ICAO, and the EU leading the way, a cleaner sky is within reach. Let's keep flying, smarter, cleaner, and together. This is Aviation Decarbonization, explained in under 5 minutes. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. See you next time.